Get going? Okay. All right, I'd like to welcome you to the May 22nd meeting of the Plympton Board of Selectmen and welcome our newest old member, Mark Russo. So welcome, Mark. Welcome back. Good to have you. So our first item is to reorganize. So you're currently the clerk, right?
So I would make a motion that Christine Joy be the chairperson and that Mark Russo be the clerk.
I'll second your motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Perfect. Okay, all right. Well, do you want to sit where we are tonight and then we'll start next
No.
time?
No.
Okay.
The pageantry.
The pageantry.
Lucky Mark, he gets correspondence back again.
Oh, man.
Right back at the
times.
beginning, after 4 years.
Okay. All right, we had a 6:15 appointment with Chief Borsari, but he just informed us that he needs to reschedule. I would ask that the board authorize me to sign the contract with the Teachers Association. We had been in negotiations with them, and we had discussed the issues that we had negotiated on, and they are down in the next room and have asked that, if possible, that we go down and sign the contract.
Yeah, we've discussed this, so I would make a motion that we authorize the chairperson to sign the contract for the teachers.
Okay. I'll second.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, so that's 3-0. All right, do you want to do a town meeting review while I go down and sign the contract, John?
Sure.
Okay, all right, I'll be right back.
We had a great town meeting. One of the shortest that I've had, I think. Let's see, one of the things I did mention to Tim from Area 58 is the sound system, for some reason, didn't pick up well on the, when you play it back on the TV or the computer. So for next year, we'll just have to see that that gets straightened out. But everything passed. I think the only item that was modified was the highway, the roof repairs, where he'd asked for 30,000 and it finally ended up 18,000, more from a technical aspect of whether or not it could be done out of capital purpose funds rather than not saying the money was needed. I don't have any other. You were there?
I was there. That was probably the most civil and quickest
Yeah.
town meeting, and we
I thought
probably...
Brian Wick did a terrific job as a moderator.
It was smooth,
It was smooth, yeah.
and we gave out our new annual reports.
Yes, I love the cover of the annual report.
It's
great.
Our report,
So we gave kudos to Brian.
He did a great job.
He did.
and this is our report.
Yeah,
Yeah,
very
and
nice.
kudos to Bree. There's been a
beautiful town
lot of
report.
comments about that cover.
Yeah, great pictures.
Amber Dragonflies Photography, my girlfriend Kim Bernasconi, went around town, met lots of people, loved everyone here. She's from Halifax, and she was very gracious enough to.
I think it's the best one yet.
Yeah, I agree. I love the pictures. All right, you all set with the town meeting report?
I think.
Okay. All right, so next we've got the town administrator position. So the funding was voted at town meeting. Thank you very much.
Were they meeting with us, these people?
Yes, this is the scouts. You
You wanna
wanted
do
to talk
that
to us?
first?
Okay, do you want to go to correspondence?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want to keep them all night?
So this is an email from Friday that was in correspondence from Eve Perfettio to Bree, writing to request that Frankie Perfettio be added to the Board of Selectmen's agenda for tonight. Proposal to the board of his idea of potential Boy Scout Eagle project of building 2 benches, and probably I should let you talk about it rather than me read it.
Alright, so, I was thinking about doing, my
Would
Eagle
you,
Scout
if you
project.
don't mind, come on up here so we can pick
Oh, we
you up on
lost the podium. Here, why don't you take a mic and,
You
yeah.
can just talk right there if you
Alright,
want.
so, for my Eagle Scout project, I was thinking about doing some park benches, and like maybe, a picnic bench for the town green. This is like a sample model bench that I was thinking I could maybe get 1 or 2 of those, and this was a, I had the picture.
Yeah, take your time.
Alright. This is the picnic table. And I was thinking it's just kind of a generic one. It's wheelchair accessible. Both the bench and the picnic table are made out of like recycled plastic. So, I mean, it's going to be durable and it's, I mean, not going to need maintenance. And so yeah, that's what I was thinking of doing for the town green.
Have you talked to the highway department? The only thing I'm thinking about is the mowing of, the lawn.
Right. So they're pretty light. So they can be just picked up and moved
Okay.
by the groundsmen, and they said that as long as it was able to be mowed around, that they have no problem with it.
Okay. And these we put away for the winter, is that the idea?
I mean, they could stay out in the winter, or you could put them. They could go away, but they're made out of like this recycled plastic stuff. So it's kind of like, it's not going to get weathered, and it's
Sure.
going to be durable.
And these are near the gazebo, or?
Yeah, in that kind of general area. We were thinking of doing it once the gazebo, like the
Right after.
restoration
Mhm.
was
Yeah.
finished,
Sure.
kind of around that time frame. And so we can talk to Miss Pallenstein when she was going to get that done, and where she would want them like placed in
Sounds
accordance to the gazebo.
Yeah, that was going to be my suggestion, was that you reached out to the Community Preservation Committee and just make sure that they were in agreement with this. And I don't know if they would have any suggestions with, colors or whatever, because I think they
Right.
want it to be complementary to the
Definitely.
gazebo.
Yeah.
So probably it'd be, especially, rather than CPC as such, the Historical Commission.
Perfect.
Because they're doing the project. But
Okay.
these are totally movable. I can imagine we'll have 18 different opinions on where these should be on the town green.
Right.
And we'll avoid a lot of trouble if we don't have a permanent
Yeah.
installation along the way. And actually, it might be good if they're movable, just in different times,
Yeah,
different
sure,
parts.
mix it up a little bit, right.
So, yeah, it feels to me checking with the Historical Commission and just coordinating, and
Perfect.
it'll be good.
Okay,
We're all for it.
All right.
all right, so you've got, it sounds like you've already got their information, Jill
Right.
and
Yeah.
and
We've
them.
been
So
in
yeah,
contact, right?
perfect. So I would say work with them, and I would say, do you want to give them the go-ahead, providing that everybody else is on board with the project?
Yeah,
Just one other question, the funding for this, or?
Yeah, it's gonna be. I'm thinking about doing some kind of fundraiser, and definitely raise the funds. It's not too bad. The picnic table is about 800, and the benches are about 360. So I mean, it's not gonna be too bad if you get like 2 or 1 of each. Then I can just fundraise the rest of the money.
Great.
I'm not really too far into like figuring out what I'm gonna do, but it's gonna get fundraised.
Okay.
okay, good.
Yeah, and I'm sure how much money you raise will depend on what you do too.
Right,
All right.
definitely.
Very good. All right, so are we all in agreement that we want to,
Because this wasn't on the agenda, do we want to wait a week and just put it on the agenda, so if anyone else wanted to comment, they'd
Huh?
have a
You
chance
could do
at
that.
it? I
See
don't,
what I can do, I'm gonna give you a form for the use of town property. At least cover it that way on what he wants to put, because it's gonna be on the green, the use of town property.
Yeah.
So I'll give you that.
Okay.
Did we do that with the library when they built the sign?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, yeah, that sounds like a good
So that way
plan.
it can get put in
All right.
and okayed, and you don't have, I don't think he has to come for that.
No, he wouldn't need to
No.
come back.
Okay.
But at least it will have everybody signing off. It's got the highway, it's got.
The historical
I can-
commission,
I have
perfect,
them. So I can, I'll email
yeah.
that,
Thank
Right.
you very much.
okay?
great
Okay.
plan.
I'll send
Very
it.
good. Well, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Good luck with your project.
Thanks
Thank
for
you
the
very
project, it's great.
This back.
I'll take this one. All right, so you're going to do the
Yes.
forms?
I
Perfect.
will send you the form, Frankie. Okay, or Eve, I'll email it to you. I can even send it to school. And you can get it. And then just get that back, finish it, get it back to me, and then we'll get the signatures.
Then we can do an
and then
official vote.
Can be an official vote.
Perfect.
Okay?
Okay.
And then you can send me, how about, can you scan what you have there on what you want to put?
Yeah,
Okay.
the pictures?
Yes. You know what, can you see Tara in the clerk's office? She'd make a copy for me. Okay, that'll be good.
Perfect.
And then I can just pick them up. Thank you.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so let's go back to the town administrator position. So the funding was approved at town meeting for a consultant. We have not determined who the consultant will be. So what's the next step?
You want to talk about the consultant for a minute?
Yeah.
I haven't reached out to, I was hoping I could do that, but, you know, with my wife having an operation and such. I still like the idea of the Collins Center process. I really think the process of going around and interviewing people in the townhouse and people outside the townhouse to get kind of a template of what we want that we can then, you know, refine down as to the duties of the person, the responsibilities, and in my mind, I see it kind of playing out that initially we might start with a certain set with more to be added. So I'm still kind of in favor of the Collins, but I will reach out if you want me to other firms. Dale has sent me one, and I've got a couple others.
Do you want to just get a proposal from those guys? From the one that Dale suggested, or if you've got somebody else in mind?
We can,
Okay.
yeah. Do we need to put out an RFP? Is that,
You don't have to necessarily. There's only several companies that do it, but the other one that I sent to you, they're pretty active in the state. Just as long as you make an effort to get some different opinions from different people, you're in under the procurement issues. So you should check with some others.
so probably three, huh?
Yeah, 3 would be ideal, and the first 2 are good and they do it. I mean, Collins and the other one that I sent you, that's their specialty is doing municipal recruitment. But there are other companies that would do it or be willing to take a stab at it. I'm not sure.
Do you have any names beside theirs?
No, I don't. I can check and see there. A lot of towns do it on their own, and they don't have anybody out, but the ones that do, generally speaking, either use Collins or the other one that I had sent.
Okay,
Those are basically the two.
Okay.
The 2 biggies in that.
yeah, we don't want to do it on our own.
Well, you're right, and the Plymouth County Commissioners, they offered to assist us too, so it might be worth exploring with them. I don't know as if they would really do the screening and all of that, but they did offer to be on the screening committee if
I
we get
saw
it
that on
down
the
to
tape.
finalists.
Yeah, I'm not sure, yeah, well, we need to talk about that
Okay.
later on in the process, I think. Another part of the town administrative position is we need to put together a transition plan with Dale, so that we understand what you're doing, so we can figure out how we continue that until we can find somebody. So that's something I think in the future we need to sit down and chat with.
Yeah, we could do that, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree, and then we'll have to know when Dale plans to have his last day, and
Yeah, so we need
And all of
another
that.
session to talk that through and just make sure.
Things are beginning to wrap up now. You know, a few of the projects that were out there that were ongoing.
Yep.
There's still the aggregation plan out there and a few other things that someone's going to have to pick up on.
Okay.
Do you want to get together with Dale and,
Yeah, sure.
Kind of
And
preliminarily?
Mark, if you got some time, why don't you join us? If you don't, Dale and I can start the
Yeah, I'm
discussion.
glad to. We probably need to post it?
yeah, we would need to post it. I won't be there, but we
Yeah.
could post it.
Oh, that's
Glad,
right.
yeah,
Oh.
glad to join you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I forgot. I wasn't even thinking of that.
Yeah, that's no big deal.
Okay.
Yeah, we can post
Sorry.
it and,
Yeah,
I mean, you just,
can't talk to you anymore unless,
right, yeah.
3 years, we'll
No
talk.
talking,
We'll talk
yeah.
in 3 years.
Okay,
Do you want to pick a date now, and then I can post it?
sure.
yeah, I need to, I'm kind of, got some other things going on in the background, so I need to,
Well, do you want to wait and talk
mean,
about
we've
this
got-
possibly
Talk
next
about
week?
next week?
yeah. Well, we're not here next week. It's Memorial Day.
You want to meet on Tuesday, or is Tuesday not good for you?
Sure.
Okay, all right. Does Tuesday work for you, Mark?
I believe it does. It's 30th, yeah, that's fine.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So why don't we meet on
Okay.
Tuesday?
Great.
Bree's not sure if she's going to be available, because I think, has another commitment, but we could just meet and,
If I'm not, I know it.
okay, perfect, okay.
So you will be meeting? So
We'll
they
meet,
would have to
yes.
have a posting
Do you want to
for
post it, and then we'll talk about getting organized with the town administrator position and a transition, then to set up
Is
the
that the only
meeting.
thing on your agenda for that day?
No, I think we'll probably have other stuff too, but towards the end of this meeting, we should have a better idea of what we're going to
Yeah.
have next week.
So if you get me the agenda of what you have and tweak, did I send you the template for that?
No, but you can, and then we'll go from there.
Okay.
Perfect. Okay, sounds good, Bree.
So just back to town administrator, so what, we're exploring a couple of other possibilities.
Yep.
And with that, would then be able to make a decision, once we have that, right?
Yes, and I think the sooner the better.
Yeah, and
Right.
my next words were exactly those words. Yeah.
So do you want to work on getting a proposal from that other company that Dale
I'll give him a call tomorrow.
gave you? And then, I'm not sure of any others. Do you know of any other firms that might do?
I'm not sure of any others, but it might be just good to get the second opinion.
I mean,
You know, you probably, I mean, Collins, I think they're the ones who do most of it, but
Okay.
it's worth getting another opinion, just so you've got something to compare it.
Okay,
And I agree with that. I mean, I did listen to the Collins presentation, and I actually was really impressed. And to some extent, I think that process is a pain in the neck, and I think it's a process we absolutely have to go through, in part to define what we're looking for, but equally for everyone in this building to begin thinking through what they hope for and what they expect. So I was very favorably impressed with that process, so.
good.
As part of just the town meeting review, I didn't, other than say Brian did a great job and everything, Pat, do you want to talk, there's a couple of things. We've got the approval now to go after the exchange server. We've got the money. I think we want to get Michael Rodriguez in and talk about, let's get that done, because this email problem has been, we just got to solve it.
Right,
Then we need to get the people on the email server. And that may be like pulling teeth in a few cases. So the sooner we get this all set up, I would say, the better.
so he's the only one that we're going to look at for this work, right?
Your call.
Well, it's just we've gotten some emails from other people asking us to look at,
There are a
That
lot
other
of people
individuals.
out there,
Oh, there's tons.
and I got into a world of trouble by changing from Mike Rodriguez 5 or 6 years ago. As it turns out, in my opinion, he's a local guy. We haven't grown to the point where you need anything more than that at this point. And, everybody wants to, when you need a ride to the grocery store, they show up with an SUV. You really don't need that, all of the stuff that they offer, especially if you're bringing it in-house, the email server. Michael does all of the off-site backup. He handles all of that. That was another thing we had to do. So I wouldn't necessarily change from him. He's good. He's fairly reasonable, and he's pretty good. For a one-man
I know
show, he's pretty good.
Tara spoke very highly of him.
He did all the background of what was presented. I mean, he came in, did the inventory, talked to all the people, figured out what we need, because part of the Exchange server is that there's 7 PC upgrades and a laptop. So my feeling is he's already done a good piece of the work, and this is just a continuation.
Sounds good to me. How do you think? How do you feel about it?
I don't have an opinion particularly on the person. My main opinion is we've been wrestling with this for 4 years, and we just got to get it done.
Get it done. Okay. Well, he knows our current system. He knows, he's got direction as to where we want to go. So, yeah, let's go ahead and do it then.
All right, I'll contact him and
Okay.
talk to him.
All right, so we did the Collins Center for the town administrator. What about, do you want to talk about the Collins grant? I know we're a little out of order here,
Sure.
but it's kind of the same subject matter, the IT grant.
We did get the official letter saying that we've received $16,000 as a grant for upgrades to the IT system. When I talked to the person before we got the letter, it was, excuse me, it was predicated on the software for the town clerk. I think the town clerk software at that time added up to $15,800. Since then, they wanted us to see us do both the upgrades of the town clerk software and the Exchange system, even though they weren't giving us all the money we had asked for. We asked for $49,000. So since then, there's been some changes that Tara's been able to get different reduced pricing. So I think what will happen is the $16,000 will in effect go into a technology grant account, and we can use it at our discretion. When I talked to the lady who was telling us about the grant that we were going to be awarded, I asked her, did it have to be specific to a, and she said no, the $16,000, as long as you use it for technology, it's your choice. So I think we've got, the $16,000 will go into a grant account. What we've already got approval to do the Exchange server at town meeting, so that's, the money's already there for that. We also got the database software money for Tara. So the things that are missing that we might want to think of in terms of the $16,000, we don't have a printer that can do high-volume color printer at all in the townhouse. We need to check to see whether, in fact, we need to be able to print these engineering documents. My headset is we probably don't. We can do that outside for the few times. They're asking for all the documents that come in now to be electronic, even if they submit a hard copy. So that would seem to lessen the need for it. But we do need the color for things like floodplain, when you're, like, we wanted to send the lawyer a document showing the different, we couldn't, it came out different shades of gray, even though when you look at it on the computer, it's red and green and blue. So I think that's something we got to look at. Susan Ossoff suggested that we might want to look into leasing it, so that may be an alternative too. The other thing we need is, I got a price on a screen, but that was really high technology. I think we have to take a look at what can we do more cost effectively so that when somebody comes in with a PowerPoint presentation, the people who watch it on the video can see it too. Right now, if you look at the Finance Committee's old meetings where they are looking at a screen with the Excel on there, it's just a blank screen to the person looking at it from the TV. And that's what we've got to change. So I think we got to look more into that. Maybe Dale has some ideas, and we'll ask Michael Rodriguez and see what we can do.
Well, a lot of it will depend on how much of it Tara's going to be spending, and that'll kind of give us an idea of how much we've got.
She's covered right now for her monies.
So the 16,000, none of that is going to be used by?
Not for the Exchange
Tara?
and not for Tara. It's already been approved at town
Oh,
meeting.
wow, that's terrific. Okay, all right. I was
Exchange
confused
a
on that.
standalone bill?
Excuse me?
That's about 11,000 for the Exchange server. That was
We approved
approved.
15,400.
And then there was an additional, wasn't there additional money for?
There was
For IT.
9,000 for codification,
Mhm.
and there was another 5,400 for the software database upgrades, which was Tara's.
Mhm.
So those are covered.
Okay. And the 11 would cover the hardware that we're getting, the laptops
The
and?
16,000? Yes.
No, the Exchange server, the
Oh,
warrant
yes.
article, that covers?
That was actually for,
It's about 11 or 12,000 for the Exchange server. It's
I
not,
was thinking it was 15,400, but maybe I'm wrong.
the licensing is where that gets expensive.
Let's see, 9,100 was the codification.
Okay,
5,145 was for the database for the Tara's software, which would be covered. And 14,200 was for the Exchange server, which was the Exchange server, software, seven PC upgrades, and a laptop, and a data backup.
okay, so that can all come out of
It may
there?
be shot $1,000, but
Okay,
we've got it in the technology grant.
right, we could use the technology
Yeah.
grant. All right. So what do you suggest we do? Should we prioritize the list, the grant items that were, or the items that were on that grant?
So the only things that aren't covered on the grant are the printer and the screen, and I think we need to do a lot more homework on that.
Okay,
And I
just
think-
wonder if that's something we could get from the
The
school.
screen, the whole projector screen setup was right around $5,000 last time I looked, which was a couple of years back.
Yeah.
Similar, it's the same system they had at Dennett.
I would suggest we have, who's the, what is, no, the school that, where did they buy their,
I checked with Steve Pelham, he can get you his contact information.
Is he from the regional school?
is he,
Well, he does, but they do it,
The technology
it's
for
all
the?
same.
Okay,
It's all done through Steve.
they did it out of Brockton, though, and I can't think of the name. It's Oakley or something like that.
I think
Yeah, I
that's it.
don't know, but
I
we
think
can,
that's it. I can't remember either, but. I
Yeah,
think
but it's close.
It's a local, fairly local company.
Yeah.
yeah.
I'd suggest we have them come in and do a presentation, and I'll talk to Steve, too, and
Yeah,
I met with him before.
yeah, because he'll have it all down.
Yeah.
Because they've done it for multiple
Yeah.
schools.
that sounds good.
Yeah.
Good plan. All right, yeah,
Okay,
let's do
So we
that.
move forward.
Okay. Did you want to talk to us, John? Okay.
Another thing with, can I bring it up, town meeting, was we got the approval of consultants for the fire EMT. I haven't really done any work there, and so any ideas on how to approach that, you know, I think it's sort of like the Collins Center. We got to find out who's out there that does it, and then
Can
approach
we
them.
bring them in to do a presentation?
Sure.
The people that did it last time, I think they were
Yeah, I could
pretty
take a
highly
look.
regarded, and I'm sure there's other,
Yeah. So that,
firms.
what was that, McKinley or something like that?
Pardon me?
I think it was,
Last time being
Who did
4
the
years ago.
ambulance
Yeah, 4 years
study?
ago.
The
That
ambulance
was Dale,
study,
no?
yeah, that was,
McKinnon?
I'm trying to think
Was it
of what
McKinnon
the
or
name of
something?
his group was, Municipal Consultants, but
Okay,
he's available. I sent you his website, didn't I?
yeah, yeah.
He was pretty prescient. I mean, he looked 4 years ahead and predicted pretty much exactly what's happened.
right, yeah, so he really seemed to have his, get his head wrapped around it pretty quick.
Yeah.
Another thing that drops out of the fire is, as part of the budget, we got the clerk approved for 3 hours, 5 days a week
For the fire?
for fire. That doesn't start till July 1st. But I would like to see a screening committee set up beyond just the fire chief. I think I would suggest one of us, Barbara, not sure who else, but this is going to be an important role, I think, because we haven't really done this before. We need somebody like Kathy Ferguson or Kathy Wright, you know, that's going to, we can depend on administratively to know what's going on.
Yeah, we don't even have a job description, do we?
No, so I guess we got to pull that together.
Okay, all right. So we'll meet with the chief next week because he needs to come in and talk to us about this grant. So
Okay,
you want to
so
talk
maybe
about it
we
then?
can do that, yeah.
Okay, all right.
We probably should tell them Tuesday night then?
Yeah, Tuesday night.
Yeah.
All right, you want to keep going?
I'm on a roll. I have some list of things. Light control. Dale, I think, sent us on the letter. You know, financially, we can't do anything because it would just boomerang with Cisco, and there's no upside other than saying, hey, we're delighted they're adding to their employees. That's great.
Yeah, I
Unless you
think
got
that's
other-
really all they were looking for, wasn't it? Was just because they knew we didn't,
Well, they were
there were
looking
no
for
really
taxes.
incentives.
They were looking for tax incentive program based on the fact they were bringing in 60 new employees. And they're bringing in millions of dollars worth of new equipment to produce more. But you were at that, it was discussed after the fact that, you know, a tax incentive program for them reduces their overall tax burden, and it were, you know, and for no other reason except that we're being nice about it. And again, it creates an untenable position, you know, with the rest of your commercial and industrial clients in town. Because they do, they bring in employees, you know, as well. I mean, if they were going to increase their footprint, and that would increase their tax base, then you could do that. But they're not increasing the size of the footprint, and so there's not really, you know, it would just
Yeah.
be basically a straight-up tax reduction for them.
Well, couldn't we
frankly-
just say we're, you know, delighted that they're expanding their operation in
Right.
Plympton and,
I think they're just
Leave it at
pressing
that?
again, and, you know, you just tell them again the same thing that we told them the first time, is that it's just puts you in an untenable position in town, you really
Do you
can't
know
it.
this Marta Nova?
yeah, I know Marta.
Because it was coming from her, right?
Yeah, she's from the state.
Yeah,
Oh, I didn't
yeah.
catch
so
that as being
It wasn't from Light
Marty
Control.
that, okay,
No.
gotcha.
So maybe you should have a conversation with her.
Sure. Yeah, because it said even, I think, if you weren't going to do any tax incentives, just to know that the town was in support of that.
We are.
Of this process, that would be enough.
Yeah.
So I think that, you know, we can certainly express that we're happy they're
Yeah.
expanding their operation, but
So if you want to talk to her,
I'll
and
talk
she
to
needs
Marty
some
and
little.
then I'll bring something back for Tuesday.
Good.
Okay. All right, are we going to keep going on your list, or you want to go back to the agenda?
Chairwoman, it is up to
Okay,
you.
all right, let's go back to the agenda. All right, so next was contractors' yards. And we had that letter, John, but we never mailed it because we weren't sure if council had taken a look at it or if they needed to. The one that we were going to send to Carling?
So Carling has sent out a number of,
Right, but we had like, I think a little letter that we were gonna sign and send him. We didn't send him that letter, but he's still taking the action, because I think he knew that was our intent. We wanted him to look at contractor
my
sheds.
understanding is that Mr. Carling has talked to the owner. And informally, it looks like he's starting to take his equipment away.
Okay,
So I would hold off until we know what's going
Perfect.
on there.
perfect, okay. Yeah, because, I mean, he knew that that was our intent. We wanted him to look at contractor yards.
Right.
Regardless of whether or
Right.
not we sent him a letter.
Right.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so we did the Community Compact IT grant, and we're gonna hold that, a little bit more work. Okay, update on any old business. What I had for old business was Colleen would like to still represent the board on the police building committee, and I would love to have her do it if you're both in agreement.
Yes, the one thought I had was that I think in the past we've had, like each one takes a focus,
Yeah.
and like I seem to be doing fire for sure. I just wondered whether it made sense for Mark maybe to go after police, but that wouldn't change having Colleen as our
Right,
representative.
right.
I'd be very supportive of that.
Okay,
Yeah. And that's actually on my list in general, and either just to mention it tonight and discuss it more, that possibility of each of us be liaison for different.
Absolutely.
And I'm glad to do police, and that is probably as much operational, but also can liaison with, hate using those nouns as verbs. I can make contact as needed with Colleen, and
Okay.
love to have her still be involved, which
Perfect.
is more to the point.
Okay,
Great.
all right,
Do
so.
we need a vote or anything?
Yeah, why
Okay.
don't we vote to, well, we'd have to appoint Colleen as a, what should be, the board's representative? Because you're not really the board's representative, because you'll be the board's representative. Just as a member at large on that committee, and then Mark will be our rep? Or are you just gonna, is Colleen gonna be our rep, and you're just,
Well, I think two different things here. I mean, one specifically the building, and then two, one of us sort of staying on top of being connected with each department.
Okay.
That piece I'll certainly do.
Gotcha. Okay.
I am glad to sit in on all the building safety committee, which is actually I did for most of the time that was existence. I mean, if Colleen still wants to chair that, I
fine.
think that makes sense.
yes,
Yeah.
all right. All right, so I'll make a motion that Colleen continue to represent the Board of Selectmen on the Plympton Police Building Committee.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, so you want, police will be kind of your area, and you're
Keep
going to
'em
do
out of
fire?
trouble.
Gotcha.
What's that?
It'll keep you out of trouble.
Okay,
Oh,
okay.
good.
Get out of jail.
That would
kind
be
of
helpful.
Do we have any other old business? I had some notes, and I lost them in my paperwork here, my massive paperwork. All right, anything we can bring back next week. All right, we need to appoint someone to, well, actually, that's the next thing on here. We need to authorize someone to sign the warrants.
Yeah, there's something in correspondence on that. So this is actually new to me, as when I left, we were all signing them, and now we have the ability to appoint someone to sign them?
It just makes it easier, and my problem is I'm more limited with my availability, where I'm not able to get up here as often. But if you want me to sign them, that's fine too, or,
I am
Mark, or if you want to,
glad
John.
offer, or can two of us, since either, I
Well-
don't know, we're probably equidistant from the townhouse.
It's usually once a week,
Yeah,
and then every Monday I'll have
I don't
the
care. One of
list.
us should sign them. It doesn't matter to me who does it.
I'm glad to do it. I'm absolutely glad to defer, since you are
Nope,
senior to
you-
me in
you said you're glad
so
to do
many
it.
ways.
okay, I'll make a motion that Mark Russo be the signatory for the warrants for the Board of Selectmen.
Okay.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So I guess we have a document here that will
Okay.
confirm that.
All right, and we need to appoint a rep to the Mayflower Municipal Health Group. That has been Colleen, who is no longer representing us on that. Maybe we should try to see if she'll do that one too, but I don't think so. So
I think I signed up for that at last meeting.
Okay, did you?
Yeah. I
Okay,
think she,
okay. Did
Snuck
we,
it right
did we make a vote?
I'm not sure if we did or not.
All right,
We can take another one.
yeah, we'll take another one.
I will just offer, it's not exactly my area of most interest, but you have a bunch else going on. If there's too much on your plate, I would sign up for that, I suppose.
I don't want to do it, so.
Right.
You know, if you want to do it, that's great. I
Well,
mean,
that would be too strong, that I want to do it.
All right, I'll make a motion that we authorize, or that Mark Russo represent us as our representative to the Mayflower Municipal Health Group Board.
Second.
Can
Okay?
we note that this is my good deed for the month, and that
Oh,
I'm good for at
They're
least a
going to
month?
keep coming. All right, so I'm currently our rep to the Plymouth County Advisory Board. I would like to continue
Great.
on
I think
that.
that's great. I make a
Okay.
motion that Christine Joy be continue as representative to the Plymouth County Advisory Board.
Okay.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right. Dale, do you have a report for us?
Well, basically, the only thing I've got, the Blue Wave issued their press release today, and they wanted to thank us. Blue Wave's solar field on Lake Street is done and up and running. They'd like to thank the board and everybody in the town involved in helping them out along the way on that. So, one more solar field making electricity in Plympton. And that's it for me.
Terrific.
Can you make copies when the minutes come out for this? I'd like a copy anyway.
Perfect.
Yeah. You can, if you want, I can just email that to.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that'd be
Yeah,
great.
could
Came in as an
you
email
email
to
it?
me, I'll just email it to everybody.
Yeah, to all of us, that would be
Okay,
terrific.
thanks.
Email from-
Okay. All right. How about correspondence, Mark?
I got a couple more things.
Oh, sure. You want to go back to the list?
Does he always have lists?
No.
Okay.
The bylaw review committee, I think next meeting, maybe we need to chat about that. How do they, they need to be able to approach legal, and whether we give them a bank of hours or whatever we do, but it would have avoided some work that they did, then found out that,
Yeah,
it
particularly
was
with
all
the
for naught.
sign
Yeah,
bylaw. Right. and
So
they're
it's
working
just,
so hard.
maybe on the next agenda, we put
Okay.
on,
All right, so let's put that one on Tuesday.
okay.
All right, so zoning issues to be addressed?
We talked about contract yard.
Okay,
I know that the zoning agent has sent out letters on some of the commercial use in residential zoning areas. So that'll be coming up, and we probably need to chat with him sometime.
okay. I was thinking maybe next week, too, we each come up with some goals, what we'd like to accomplish this year before town meeting, and kind of get a plan together and divide and conquer
Great.
what we'd like to get done. So why don't we at least start that discussion on Tuesday?
Okay.
And some of these items might actually be involved in that. Dale, to look into how to handle nonprofit events.
You were looking into that, Dale, to see what other towns, this came up out of the discussion around the Sawcheck
Oh, right.
nurses
And,
event.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't really dug into it too deeply, but I mean, it's really no different than we allow other things in town, although some are on town land, some aren't.
Yeah, I was just,
Are you looking for a permit process for that, or?
Maybe a little more
Was it like
clarity.
a bylaw that we were
potentially, I mean, it was,
throwing around?
the motorcycle thing came up, we discussed that, we decided that wasn't the same, but it seemed like that we
Well, that
needed
had too
some
great a
more.
public safety impact. That
Yeah.
was the reason that that had issues. But in terms of somebody doing something agricultural related on an agricultural property, I don't really see where, under 40A, I'm not sure whether you can step in and say yay or nay, or even put a permit process on it, other than, again, public safety review, traffic, so on and so forth.
It was more nonprofit in general, not just agricultural oriented, whether we needed to do some more work. And I guess the thing I was looking for is, if Pembroke, Duxbury, Carver, Middleborough already have something on the books, then we might just plagiarize it just to make sure that we're
Yeah,
covered.
I'm not sure.
Do they have
I
something
don't-
on the books?
I don't know.
All right,
That's what I was asking.
Yeah, only in so much as town-owned land, using town-owned land. I mean, beyond that, if the church wants to hold a nonprofit event at their place, they don't
Oh,
have
sure.
to come to the
No,
town.
they don't
ask
have to come
for
to
it,
us.
Or, or if.
So is that something Dale could explore a
mean,
little? Do you have
yeah,
time to
I
explore?
can check. I just don't
Okay.
really think you're gonna find a lot on it, other than, like I said, other than.
Yeah,
using
it may
town
be
property.
that we don't have to do
But we'll
anything.
check and see what we
Okay.
can find.
Financial reporting, I'd like to have the opportunity to work a little with Barbara, sort of as the liaison on financial reporting to see. I think it's going to be important as we go forward with the town administrator's role. And so the more that we can start discussing that up front and bring ideas to the board, not sure where I'm going beyond that right now, but. So
And that
that's just
includes
a,
some communication maybe with the new finance committee, since that's changing and the chair's changing?
yeah, one of, Barbara and I just, when you called in, we're just chatting about, given that the administrator may not come on till November, December, how do we go through the budget season? And my first thought was maybe we have that person sit on the finance committee for those discussions as a non-voting member, more to get an idea of how the process has worked. Barbara mentioned that maybe we take the key budgets like police, fire, and have those first reviewed by that person. So I don't know that we've got an answer yet, but I think it's something we need to think through, how that might work, and it'll, again, come out as part of the town administrator's discussion.
No, I think that's good, and to make sure that we're utilizing the financial forecasting tools and all these
Exactly.
tools
Right.
that we have, now have for managing our finances, that we are utilizing
Yeah.
these and really sticking to them. And I'd like to see how what we voted at town meeting, I think might have been a little bit different than what was on year one. I think that we might have tweaked it a little bit, but just to make sure that we're on track with
Yeah.
all of that.
I think that's great. And
Okay.
and that leads into the next one, the escrow accounts. We have accounts on the books, some monies in escrow, basically in the planning, conservation. This is things like when Cisco was started up, they had to pay money in to the planning, building departments, whatever, and then it was spent out for different things that had to be done. But we've ended up with some monies left over. And the planning department has quite a large amount. And unfortunately, it starts before the computer system that we're using. So when you look at the computer's runout, it says beginning balance $10,000 on planning. We haven't got a clue who that 10,000 was received from. So we don't know whether it's 3 companies. We don't know whether it's, So come June, Barbara and I are going to take a crack at maybe going into old files. So I just want to make you aware, it's just one of those accounting things that you have to do.
Okay.
And we're doing it because of the auditors, but it needs to be done anyways. The auditors have asked us for a reconciliation.
All right. You have any thoughts on that one, Mark?
No, sounds like work that just needs to get done.
It's grunt work.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this is your area of expertise, so I'd be happy
Grunt
to
work.
have you
Thank you.
work
We
on
can
that.
skip the next one.
Okay.
The last one, though, support for you. We know you work full-time. So in terms of doing the agendas and minutes, we have Bree, but to the extent we can help, you might kick around.
I really
how-
appreciate that, and I think that that's something that we're going to have to do, particularly when Dale is gone to divide and conquer this, because I'm really not available during the day. I can't take phone calls at
Sure.
work, so we'll
So you-
we'll make it work, but I
Yeah, we
think I
will.
really appreciate
Yeah.
that you'd be willing to.
So you might be thinking about what you'd want us to
Okay.
pick up.
Okay. I mean, I don't want to stick you with everything. I certainly want to, carry my fair share, but I would absolutely appreciate that, because I know some things are timely, and, people just can't wait for me to get back to them, so that sounds
The
perfect.
agenda's the big thing.
Okay,
Like, the agenda has to be completed, and it's usually done by 11
Yeah.
and sent to Tricia,
okay,
so she can post it in enough time, because everybody seems to send them last minute to her, and then she's scrambling, and
mhm,
if there's an error, and catches it, and it's 1:30 in the afternoon, then she's here till.
okay, all right.
So
Well, we
I
can
don't
start working
know
on the
if-
agenda early, and, we can have some things that we're going to discuss tonight that we want to put on the agenda, and things we have discussed, so that we've already, are kind of working on next week's agenda
So
now.
if it's sent in a Word document, and it comes out and everybody's included in the email, I mean, I can take off the watermark, and if you give the three of you say it's a go,
Okay,
then I'll send it.
okay, perfect. Then why don't you send me the template, and I'll put the things that we've discussed tonight on it, and then we should be able to get it wrapped up
I'll
and
send this
to you.
one,
Okay,
because there's something on here that you want to keep.
okay,
Okay.
Well,
perfect.
why wouldn't Bree set it up for you with the things we've talked about?
Yeah, she
Yeah,
could.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. The things we've said we want to hold until Tuesday, we can put those, you can put them on the agenda.
Okay,
With the draft, and then
Yeah. So
You
we
can
can,
review.
we'll do a recap at the end. Okay,
So there will be a draft that goes out to all of us. We'll comment, and then by Thursday morning, it's back at Breeze.
back at Bree,
because
ready
I have
to,
not done the agenda, Mark did it before,
okay,
and then Colleen took over and she did it.
okay.
So this will,
But yeah, you can start it. I have
okay,
confidence in you. You can do it. You can. It'll be fine. It'll be
We'll
fine.
set-
You know where I am. I'm glad to help on that.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna be right beside me.
All right, perfect.
Like,
Then you'll
hello, Mark.
definitely know where I am.
Awesome. Okay, so, anything before we head to correspondence?
I don't think so.
Well, I guess dates to remember are coming up. I'll do that. On the agenda for next week, maybe exploring a little bit more of the liaison things, and that may be another way to get some stuff off your plate.
Yep.
I'd love to talk about that more and see what each of our areas
Okay.
of interest are. If we could next week, maybe as town council, consulting with town council and all that policy, probably has changed a little since I was on this board, and maybe I'd like to better understand where we're at, and maybe we need to take a look at
No, I don't think
the
it's
whole
really
thing.
changed. We still have to authorize people to contact council and,
That piece certainly makes sense. It's a little more the piece about among us, how we deal with that.
Okay.
Maybe we could just explore that next
Sure.
week. And I actually might even want a little update on where we at with which firm and
Gotcha.
which people. So
Okay.
if that could be on the agenda next week,
Absolutely.
I'd love to touch on that.
anything else?
Yeah, that'll do for now.
Okay, all
Thank you.
right. All right, how about correspondence?
Oh, here we go. Good to be back.
Did we all, we have to respond to Memorial Day?
Oh, I did.
Okay, okay.
I think you just have to.
And actually, Memorial Day is at the top of the pile. Memorial Day ceremony, May 29th at 10 a.m. The marching starts then and ends up at the town green. Rain date, June 14th.
That's what we've done, is when it rains, we have it on Flag Day. So
Okay.
that it's, we're still celebrating, but it's postponed.
So actually, to take advantage of the TV screen and the newsprint people, the event starts at the Plympton Historical Society. Those are marching and ends at the town green. Wonderful event, not to be missed. Is absolute Americana
It is.
and just a great sense of Plympton as part of that.
Who's gonna hold that one?
Once the essays are chosen, I find out tonight who will be reading the Gettysburg Address in Flanders Field. The teachers are making their choices tonight.
Well, and I was gonna actually go back to you too, because we need to know from you what you need us to do as well. So can we finish the correspondence and then we'll go back to you? Okay, perfect.
So this is a letter from the zoning enforcement officer to, I think, the lot across the street from Sunrise Gardens, and I think we've discussed that already, and some action is being taken. This is a long string of emails from Kristen
Oh.
Fittenmeyer. This last one is dated May 18th, requesting a meeting with the Board of Selectmen and hopefully the Highway Department as well, as I only am coming to understand the beginnings of this, but I guess this has been a long process and continues to be a process and discussion. And this one has to do with paving plans for Montello Street. So I guess she's asking for a potential meeting with Board of Selectmen and Highway Department.
Yeah,
All right,
I
okay.
think we should do it.
All right, why don't we try to set her up for Tuesday, Bree, if Jim is available too?
I don't know if he is. Okay.
All right, and if not, then we'll do it the following Monday. But, I mean, we have to get the word out so that residents on Montello and Heather's Path are aware that we're going to be discussing this. But the agenda will be out.
Yeah, that's the only thing.
Okay.
That's been the only
Okay.
resident.
Well, she
So
wants it
sh-
paved, and I know there's a large group that don't want it paved as well.
So,
So we'll talk.
We'll talk.
yeah, Mike, do you want to wait until the following week?
The Monday,
So
where,
that it can be put there, I don't know if I could do something even on the website, or once it goes into the paper, if we could have residents that want it.
that we'll be discussing it
I'm
and,
fine.
okay,
Yeah, that's fine,
yeah. All right, do you want to hold it off till Monday then?
sure.
Okay, so Monday would
Monday,
be.
June 5th.
Well, okay, so we'll go June 5th. And why don't we try to set them up right at 6, right at the beginning, if we don't have anything else? Perfect, okay.
This is a letter to the Selectmen from Joy Marble, the new COA director. She is respectfully requesting that a donated organ piano, which was originally came from the church, be moved to the area next to her desk at the COA office. She reports that it's a very nice piece of furniture which would serve as entertainment for our seniors during our monthly gatherings.
Well, that's nice.
She thinks there's room right there, and sounds pretty cool to me.
So would we ask the custodian to see if we could move it?
Sure.
Okay,
I told her he's available on Fridays, but if she was to get here, there would be help.
okay,
So in the mornings, and she said great too.
Perfect.
Maybe
So,
we can get, little honky-tonk piano, some wine, beer.
there you go.
does Colleen play an instrument?
Yeah,
I know
guitar.
she, oh, does she?
Yeah,
Yeah,
and ukulele, I guess, doesn't she?
she's pretty talented
Yeah,
musically.
she
Might
is.
be a whole bunch of things.
Have a sing-along.
This is a file labeled Montello Street, and I think they are all older string of, yeah, this is email strings that go way back, pretty much the same issue on
Perfect.
Montello Street. So,
We started a file on it because they started to just become more and more. She had asked about the Board of Selectmen, and when Jim came here and discussed that everything was going to be put on hold.
Okay,
And then that was the last email. Today
Perfect.
it was
Okay.
about that I want to meet with them.
this is from Bob Carling to Michael Carey of Carey Auto, I think, a cease and desist order regarding servicing and repair of trucks in an agricultural residential zone.
so that was the commercial use in residential zones?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
And this is an email from Sharon Housley to Bob Carling dated May 5th, the end of last week. She notes that contractor yards were listed on tonight's agenda and is communicating to him her concern about the possibility that her neighbor, Mr. Randall, might be operating a contractor yard. And this is a good one. This is from, I guess from the lawyer for Linda Schauwecker, or I guess it's from K&P to Linda's lawyer, noting that the check for $48,000 had been received and the transfer of the property had been
Terrific.
completed.
That's great.
That's wonderful.
is wonderful.
That was a huge amount of work for Colleen
Oh,
and
it
this
was
committee over the last year.
such a huge amount for Colleen.
And
Good.
Goes to show how complicated even the simplest land transactions can be, and it goes to show that just plugging away at it,
Don't
it
give
finally
up.
gets done.
Right.
It's beautiful. All right, so this is an appointment notice for, well, it's a letter from Joy Marble, the COA director, from the COA director, asking us to approve the new outreach worker Joyce Curran to replace Ellen Wilson, who has resigned. She notes that Joyce will be responsible for planning activities and social events, as well as providing other outreach duties. She'll organize surplus food distribution and connect with seniors with adaptive equipment when needed. So we have the appointment form to sign.
Is she a resident?
That is not noted here.
Yeah, okay, just wondering.
So I make a motion that Joyce Curran be appointed to the position of Council on Aging, Aging Outreach Worker.
And it says, what, subject to grant terms that the funding's there.
It does?
Yeah, right there, subject to grant terms. So, providing there's
Was in two
funding.
big letters,
So
yes.
I'll second that.
All right.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So I'll pass that down. Actually, I remember the old rule was that the chair had the top line, and out of former
No.
habit, I am so sorry. From now on, you have the top line.
I don't need the top line.
Okay.
No, I think we should maybe slap his hand.
This is a letter from the attorneys for Deutsche Bank, letting us know that there are foreclosure proceedings on a property, 150 County Road in Plympton.
Okay.
And that they are planning a public auction for a foreclosure sale August 4th.
That's part of our discussion tomorrow, isn't it?
No, Center Street.
Oh, I'm sorry, what was it again?
That's County Road,
Oh,
150 County
Oh,
Road.
okay.
Jose, what was the address on that?
150 County Road?
And so I guess it's the new custom to be going over, or actually you started this, or maybe you brought it from the old days of going over the
Briefly.
headlines in the newspaper. All right, so the Plympton Halifax Express from a couple of weeks ago, unfortunately, a few Plymptonians in the obituary section, an article on the county commissioners who were in to defend their budget. You'll be voting at that then?
I will.
Danielle?
You missed the cleanup.
Oh, I know, oh, yeah, no, it's two-page spread, actually.
Yeah, Plympton Scouts helping
Dare
clean up.
graduation at the Dennett, and Plympton Scouts cleanup, and very appreciative for both those
Absolutely.
programs.
I went to the Dare, and that was really nicely done.
Was
Yeah.
it? Very nice. Dana Smith does a great job with those kids.
Yeah, he does.
And then last week's edition makes note of the new police station. Beautiful headline, Voters Dispatch 43 articles before 9:30. Pretty cool. Synopsis of town meeting.
Yeah, it was well-written, too.
Thank
It
you.
was, nice
Yeah,
job.
well done.
I tried running it. I don't know if you guys saw me with my laptop that night. I just kind of tried to write it live. Easier than going through 43 articles after
Yeah,
that.
it showed.
Well, that was, yeah, you did a nice job.
And here's a headline about, oh, that's pizza delivery, never mind. And I think that completes, with great joy do I report that completes correspondence.
Perfect, check and check. All right, I didn't get a chance to read the minutes, did you?
No, I didn't.
All right, so why don't we hold the minutes from 5/8, and then
I'm
we'll
not even
have,
sure which minutes we're up to date on and which we are.
I believe we're up to date with this. This is the last one.
Okay,
Because we took care
okay.
of everything at our last meeting, so.
Well, I wasn't at that meeting anyways.
Okay.
So you're going to have to,
Well, that'll be interesting, because Colleen's
Yeah,
not
that's,
here.
well, you make your corrections and we'll
Okay,
go with it.
all right, perfect. Okay, Bree, Memorial Day, what do we have going so far? What do you need us to do?
I will send, I have speaker, so that's done. We are gonna have touch a truck after the parade at the fire station. Chief Brisari will set up chairs, and he's donating water up at the gazebo.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we have a lineup down at the Historical Society. You can start anywhere from 9. Really, the lineup is 9:30. It shouldn't take that long. We have our post-cane recipient, Doris Silva. Her son will be driving her. She's 99.
Wow,
She will be 100 this October. So she's looking forward to it.
terrific.
We have Jill Pallenstein with the Garden Club.
Mhm.
Because everything passed with the gazebo, so they're not gonna be doing plantings, but they will be potted plants that they will be doing to kind of spruce up and have the gazebo.
Well, it looks pretty now, even with just, what is it, lavender that's out there? It's very
No,
pretty.
and she's just gonna spruce things up, put some potted plants around, and plant some geraniums along the monument. Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, and the athletic groups. I'd like to thank Kim Adams and Kathy Ferguson for stepping up, because we had nobody, so.
Good.
it was-
Well, thank
they
you
really stepped
to
up
both
the
of them.
plate. Roxanne has been helping, so it's so far so good. And Franny Welsh, excuse me, has stepped up. She joined the meeting, so she will be joining us for future.
Terrific.
And so it should be short and
So are
but
you,
very sweet, and there is a rain date, so we don't have to do what we did last year, right, Joe?
So
so I
sprinkles or downpour?
Rain. I'm talking rain.
Okay, so
If it
we'll
rains,
march
we
in
will-
sprinkles,
we will
but if
march in the
it's
sprinkles.
raining, then we'll go to Flag Day.
We'll go to Flag Day. I don't, yeah, the forecast looks great. I mean, it was very sad last year for my first parade.
Oh, and
So we
didn't they
canceled.
have floats last year? Oh, yeah, they had, right.
The main thing last year was because of the thunder and lightning. It was too close. I didn't need anybody hurt.
Right.
And then I don't want children. I mean, the kids are marching in their uniforms, and it's, it's a day for them too, to honor our veterans and to do it properly. I know that our veterans have done a lot for us, but it's a safety also.
when you have an agenda
Yes, so
that tells
I will
who's doing the
use-
introductions?
To the introduction, I did speak with Mark, and Mark will do our moment of silence.
Okay.
Okay,
So it's just with me tweaking the names.
Okay.
So I'll just replace the chair with Colleen's, what Colleen did with you,
okay.
okay?
What did she do? Led the pledge?
Yes.
Okay,
So you
Introduction,
get
things
that
like
out to
that.
us.
So I will just,
okay,
Like I
yeah,
said,
just
get
let us
that
know
out.
what we need to do.
and I know John introduced the kids last year to call them out for Flanders.
Just the Flanders Fields.
Yeah. so I will have-
I didn't do the Gettysburg, I don't believe. Somebody else did that.
Oh, okay. So we will have, and
Who's singing the
Kat.
national anthem?
I have her name.
Okay,
She was recommended by
All right.
Mrs.
Yeah.
Cardinal.
if you've
so
got
I
somebody,
apologize
that's perfect.
for that. And Kathy Ferguson will be reading the list of past and present. Right, so that would be.
Perfect.
We have it up to date finally.
Very nice.
She's worked very hard with everybody.
Yeah.
in town.
Oh, great, sounds like a
So
group
all three
effort.
of us will march? Will we march?
We'll all three march.
Cool.
I'm not gonna say what color I'm wearing.
Yeah, no. 2 years ago, we
Oh
each
my
showed up, one
gosh.
in blue, one in red, and one in white.
It was so funny. We didn't even plan it.
Really?
Yes. 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 It's like,
Okay.
I
we
was-
are so
I
on the
was-
same page.
I was white.
Yeah, you were. You were. You always wear white.
I've got 3 antique rifles and 3 long dresses in the attic.
Oh, please.
Yes.
I could wear a long dress. I could
I'm
wear a
not
long
touching
dress.
that one.
So thank you, everybody.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Very good. So we'll see you at the Historical Society next Monday, and then we'll meet on Tuesday.
Yes.
Perfect.
You'll probably see me up at the green here.
Okay.
Because I
Okay.
have people meeting me here at 7:30.
All right.
So I need to make sure. Kim Adams, you will see Kim Adams at the Historical Society
Okay,
line up.
and she'll get us all
And the
organized.
replacement,
Okay,
yes, there is a schedule of that. I will send that
Perfect.
to you.
terrific.
Yes.
Okay.
The crowd came this year.
Okay, anybody have anything else? All right, what do you have, Ken?
Is your next meeting in 2 weeks?
Our next meeting is in 1 week and 1 day. We're going to meet on Tuesday.
Oh.
Well, actually, we've got a meeting tomorrow. It's executive session.
No, too soon.
Then we're meeting on
5:30.
5:30, which is
Tuesday.
Tuesday, right after Memorial Day, and then
Okay.
we'll meet the following Monday.
Okay.
Do you need to get on our agenda?
Yes.
Okay. Do you want Tuesday or the following Monday? Did you say Tuesday was too
Fine.
quick?
Tuesday's fine. We're having a ZBA meeting on Thursday night, which actually would have been well, no, I can put the topic on the agenda, which is appointment of ZBA alternate.
Okay,
You got that?
And actually, that brings up, as selectmen now, our bylaws say selectmen cannot be on ZBA. I was an alternate, so I will send you and this board
Perfect.
and the town clerk a letter of resignation tomorrow.
perfect. Okay,
Thanks to the efforts of Art Moore, he has recruited two significantly qualified people, but we need to meet on Thursday to agree. to vote.
perfect.
Great.
Okay, all right. You and Bree can schedule a time. All right,
Will you email
Perfect.
me or stop in? Will you email me or stop in tomorrow?
Well, the topic is reappointment of, or no, appointment of ZBA alternates. And I won't
okay,
have the name.
perfect. Okay. All right, well, I think that's all we've got. So I'll make a motion that we adjourn, but before I do, I will say, this is not an official record of the meeting. I was supposed to say that at the beginning, but
The Area 58
Area
recording.
58 recording.
Right.
Thank you. All right, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Yahoo.
Good night.
Well done.
Right.
Welcome
night.
back.
Yeah, oh, good. Before 7:30, very good.